Okay, come on, I have 6. Come on, let's go. Come on, guys. You want to take a photo still?
Come on, guys. Rustenburg, what's taking so long? Come on.
Oh, I have my mask on. There's money in this, guys. A quick photo. Why are we taking a photo?
Brianna.
Right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're back here at Fairmont High School on Friday afternoon, 5 o'clock. We've just had a game between Rustenburg girls and Fairmont in the under 14s. 7-1 to Rustenburg. Now we've got the under 16s. The guests, Rustenburg, taking on Fairmont. My name's AJ Spearingzook and I'm joined here by a good friend of mine, Chris Gibson. Hello, Chris. Welcome.
AJ, how's it going?
Yeah, good. My side, your side. I mean, it must be pretty frustrating as a coach having on and off season, but frustrating yet exciting at the same time to have some hockey matches.
Yeah, extremely frustrating, but as I said, it is what it is at the moment, and yeah, we live in a world of uncertainty. So glad to be out here and watching some, hopefully, what should be top level hockey.
Yeah, we thank you very much for joining us. We've got 2 more matches this evening. Nice to be out on a Friday afternoon again. If you are joining us or watching us from some parents watching from the car park, some parents watching from the comfort of their home, please message us and let us know where you're watching from, who you're supporting, and we'll engage with you on our social medias. Fairmont straight away on the attack, just inside the 22. Ball goes inside the circle. Well defended by Rustenburg. Chris, you mentioned obviously some of the uncertainty going on. As a coach, how do you prepare, or how do you go day by day, training session by training session, to either keep the girls motivated, keep them trained, keep them sharp?
Yeah, I think the big thing is communication and just understanding where we're at. You know, it does really go from training session to training session. So current team I'm working with, I've had some sessions where we've got 12 or 11 girls down, and at the next session we've got 4 for whatever reason. So yeah, communication goes a long way into helping that, and then just making the actual sessions fun, and yeah, trying to assist the kids in learning and making the most of the moment that they get to be on the turf.
Yeah, and it's pretty exciting as Fairmont just making a pass outside the 25, and now it will be a Rustenburg free hit on the sideline. As Rustenburg playing in their traditional navy blue, playing from left to right on your screen, and Fairmont playing in green from right to left. And yeah, it's quite interesting. And I posed this question on Wednesday when we were playing, as ball goes across, but it's hitting a Rustenburg stick. It should be a Fairmont free hit on the sideline. You've got a couple of months or a couple of weeks left of what would have been the traditional season. Do you negotiate with your summer sports to try and do a little bit more training during the summer season now to prepare for next year, or to make up, or what's your sort of approach there?
Yeah, I think it's natural that at this time of year that the summer sports do get going. So it's a tricky one. I think most of us at co-ed schools would probably be looking at just focusing on under 19s and maybe having a bit of a bigger HP group, maybe 20 to 24 kids, boys and girls, working with their groups. But I think the likelihood of being able to go into, let's say, what would be term 4 and trying to play hockey matches against other schools, probably, while it would be nice, I don't think it's going to materialize, because I think too many of the other schools have got their summer sports that will take preference.
So we're about a few minutes into quarter number 1 as Rustenburg have a free hit deep inside their own half on the right hand side, as Hit comes in, but it's lifted dangerously. Fairmont takes it quickly, and they've got a couple of numbers forward as they enter the circle. Ball comes in, hits a foot, but there's still advantage as umpire blows advantage, and Fairmont get the first penalty corner of the game and the first chance to go 1-0 up.
That was great acceleration there from Sienna Grazer. She really's got a good turn of speed, and she's able to win the short corner there for Fairmont.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure from Fairmont at the free hit and forced the error, and now Rustenburg are defending a penalty corner. So push out will come out from so push comes out, and just a little bit of a mistrap on top, but Fairmont still have the ball under control as enters the circle, but they Rustenburg try and clear the ball, and just a little bit of a panic there inside the circle, Chris.
Yeah, I think it's always natural. You talk to the players and just remember composure. But in that moment, you just think, I don't want the ball to read. I want to get rid of it, and then before you know it, you've maybe made a little bit of a mistake, and there, I mean, that really almost is an unforced error, and she'll be a bit disappointed with that.
Yeah, another chance here for Fairmont as ball push comes out and stop on the top D. A flick comes in, and
very nice flick.
It's a really, really nice flick. Hit the keeper's glove and went over the sideline or over the baseline. It will be a long corner. It's a very, very well picked up, especially with the first wave running pretty fast towards top D.
Yeah, so Fairmont seemed to be in a little bit of ascendancy. Lauren Whittaker, the captain, on the ball. She'll probably look to take advantage of the space that's left open there in front of her. Nice lead out from the left wing there. The ball in the D, well defended from Rustenburg. Good looking for the outlet here. Fairmont seem to be pressing them well, and have won another free just outside the 25-yard.
Yeah, one thing that's important, I think, for both teams, if you look from Rustenburg's side, I mean, they're under a little bit of a pressure, so they've got to suck in the pressure and just try and get away with not conceding any goals at the moment. And then Fairmont's obviously going to want to look at it and say, well, we got the ascendancy, we're going to want to take goals. As she enters inside the circle, shot comes in, keeper makes a save. There's a bit of a rebound and hits the keeper again and goes over the baseline, and another long corner there to Fairmont. Just two different occasions. You've got Fairmont who really need to execute and try and score the goal, and Rustenburg that's really trying to defend and try and keep out as much as possible. You get those patches in games where you will defend for long periods and attack for long periods.
Yeah, it just seems to be one of those things. I mean, I remember when we coach, and you always say to players, you've done all the hard work, but score, and actually sometimes the hardest work is the actual act of scoring. A lot of people just say, it's a 2-meter touch in that you need to tip it in the far post and score, but that art of scoring, and AJ, I'm sure you witnessed it, where it's maybe not the most talented or skillful player in your team, but geez, they've just got this knack of being able to put the ball in the goal. Teams that you would have been involved with over the years. As you see Rustenburg with a counter here.
Oh, they had some numbers up front there. Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, I've had some players in sides, and me playing as a defender, I remember playing in teams where some of the strikers that we had were just so hungry to put the ball in the back of the net, and it's something that somehow it's to like try and teach that hunger is sometimes a little tricky thing to do. As Fairmont Rustenburg with a stick tackle, umpire not happy with the tackle. And yeah, you just need that one or two people inside that space to just somebody that's very hungry to put it in the back of the net. And we know, I mean, you talk to any hockey player, they know exactly who they're talking about. Ball comes inside the circle. She's just a little bit lost control, but she's kept it inside, and she's still got the ball under control outside the circle. And it's defended by Fairmont, but the ball is still there with Rustenburg on the ball. Now back with Fairmont, and a bit of a scrap in the far corner as Rustenburg now win a free hit. I keep saying winning a penalty corner. I think it's because of all the penalty corners on Wednesday. So Rustenburg have the free hit just outside, and Fairmont under pressure and a little misstep, and Rustenburg still with the ball. Ball comes in, but Fairmont there to clear, and unfortunately cleared to Rustenburg play, and ball comes inside the circle and misses everyone over the baseline, and Fairmont now with a 16-yard free hit out.
No, it seems very interesting. Good to see Rustenburg have looked like they've gotten into the game a bit. Yeah, they look like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with going forward. And it'll be interesting to see how Fairmont look to outlet. Lauren does have an overhead which she might look to go to. see Sienna getting the ball up the
Yeah,
field. She looked to take advantage. Unfortunately, she can't.
Yeah, you mentioned Lauren Whittaker earlier. She's making her debut in the first team game later this afternoon, so she's going to be pretty excited. But I think the first team game is not on her mind currently. She's going to want to lead her team to victory here today.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's awesome to see that she's getting a chance up in the first team. She's one of the more harder working players around. So I'm sure she's going to enjoy that moment a bit later. But as you quite correctly alluded to, I'm sure she's very focused on making sure she gets the win for the under 16 girls here.
Yeah, it's been fairly, possession has been with Fairmont most of the time for the game so far, but Rustenburg slowly getting back into it and just got to string a few passes together because they've had some numbers up front and they did look dangerous, and no doubt they're going to be dangerous throughout the game. And there we go, we see some numbers forward here as Rustenburg have a chance. They've got some numbers inside the circle, but well defended by Fairmont as they now look to get the ball out, but still under a little bit of pressure from Rustenburg as they try and win the ball back, and well won back from Rustenburg as they try and win it. And now Fairmont unfortunately ball over the sideline as Rustenburg with 4 minutes to go in quarter one have a free hit now on the right hand side.
AJ, it really seems to be one of those games where it's a bit of tit for tat, and double turnovers being the word in hockey that we use. Seems to be that, like we see Fairmont in possession now, they get in and around the halfway, and then the ball seems to be turned over like it has just been there. So it's going to be interesting to see once the accuracy is improved by one of the teams, we might actually see one of the teams take the lead here.
I think one thing we have noticed straight away as we look at it is just Rustenburg with the ball inside the circle, keeper comes out and ball just goes over the keeper's stick and goes over the baseline. One thing we've noticed as we're mentioning is we can see already Rustenburg have lots and lots of numbers up front, whereas on the opposite side Fairmont don't necessarily have lots of numbers up front, but they seem to be building a little bit slow, a little bit calmer, or a little bit more patient, where Rustenburg seem very, very dangerous going forward because they've got so much numbers there.
Yeah, exactly. It almost seems like Fairmont want Rustenburg to move the ball into them, whereas it seems Rustenburg are wanting to take the ball from Fairmont right at the beginning of their press. So yeah, two different styles. It'll be interesting to see how they work. I mean, there's pros and cons to both, so it should make for quite an exciting game. Hopefully the strikers will just come on board and put a few away, and then we could see a really nice high scoring game here.
And that will also make the team talks fairly interesting to hear on both sides. We'd love to get a mic in there and actually hear, because obviously both team talks are going to be completely different based on obviously what they're playing. So it'd be lovely to actually be a fly on the wall and actually hear what is going to be said in those team talks. As it's Rustenburg now with the ball just outside the 25, hitting a foot of Fairmont. It's another free hit as they look to slowly get more comfortable in the game, and are definitely getting a little bit more even at the moment as we're still 0-0 here with 2.5 minutes to go. It's Fairmont, the hosts, taking on Rustenburg girls in our lovely Friday night hockey, and how we've missed some Friday night hockey matches the last couple of months. Ball comes inside, but it's going to go over the baseline, and comfortable 16 now to Fairmont as we slowly tick away to the end of the first quarter.
Oh, it's interesting. You'll just notice in the next phase of play when Rustenburg seem to attack, their right link seems to be open and finding a lot of space. So Fairmont might need to wise up and just ensure that their left side is tracking and man marking. As you see here, the Rustenburg are very high with their press. They good full pressure. They want to turn over here high up the field, and they've managed to secure that now. So let's see what Rustenburg can do here. The right half has stepped up to take the free hit, so they should have a player up open somewhere. They're able to find the player there in the 25. It's a great turnover. Sienna, really good work.
And just Fairmont there, getting their sticks in well defended, hitting a Rustenburg foot as Fairmont now with a chance, but they're still under lots of pressure as Rustenburg seem to be high pressing quite a bit. And good pass across to Fairmont, still have the ball now tight on the left hand side.
Really good skill, well done to keep the ball under pressure there. And Sienna with a bit of space to use her pace. Expected to run all the way around there, into on T-point. Very unselfish to give the ball away there.
Yeah, she's probably probably wanted to use her pace a little bit there, and she's
I think
fast.
you would have preferred it, AJ.
Yeah.
I think the more selfish thing might have been the better option, but I suppose you can't fault a player for looking to be unselfish.
Yeah, no, good point there, but I think it would have been, I mean, it could have created a lot more problems had she run on that T point and then passed to the player that she subsequently passed to first. So
Yeah, correct. But as they say in hockey, that there's decisions and choices everywhere on the field. It's always situational.
yeah, very true.
So they might look back at the video and say, okay, cool, Sienna, next time maybe look to drive that situation. But as it is, it's Fairmont outletting with a couple of seconds, so that should be the end of the first chucker, and on is even. I think it's been pretty fair. Fairmont dominating the first bit, and Rustenburg coming into it nicely towards the end now. So not maybe a fair reflection.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting when a goal is scored here, because at the moment, obviously, Rustenburg's slower start, but getting very comfortable towards the end of the game, and towards the last few minutes it was fairly even. Fairmont obviously had a very good start, put them under a lot of pressure. It will be interesting if two teams do change things, if there will be some panic or if there will just be a calm approach. I don't think either team would be upset with the half. I think maybe obviously Fairmont's had the more clear-cut chances. Even though it's only a few, they've had the more clear-cut. Obviously, Rustenburg's probably had the most circle entries on the opposite side, but not necessarily clear-cut chances. So I don't think both teams would be upset with the way they play, but I think now they need to start converting, whether it be penalty corners, whether it be goals inside. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining. It's the end of quarter one here with the under 16 game between Fairmont and Rustenburg girls. My name is AJ Sperenzoek, and I'm joined by Chris Gibson as we take you through the under 16 game today, as well as the first team game a little bit later on. Gibbo, do you change something now? Do you just ask for a little bit more better execution of the basic skills? What would you be saying now?
Yeah, I think I mean, just from judging how the games, I think they're pretty even. I think both coaches, there isn't a glaring fault anyway, so I think it's probably more of the same, and maybe just one or two specific individual players where you're just saying be mindful of these situations. Maybe like we saw with Sienna from Fairmont, a coach might just go to her and say, just next time drive that situation. But I would say more of the same, and that would be for both Fairmont and for Rustenburg. I mean, I haven't seen anything glaring, unless maybe they have, but I would like to think that that's probably just more of the same, and maybe a bit more accurate.
Yeah, accuracy it's a very important word, because I mean that doesn't just refer to attack; it refers to all aspects of the field. And yeah, it should be quite an exciting. I mean, this is definitely the hallmarks of could be a very exciting game, because both teams had their chances, and obviously being 0-0, the players are going to be eager to try and get goals ASAP.
Rustenburg have got the second chucker underway. They managed to progress the ball up the field, looking to enter the 25. Fairmont unfortunately giving the free hit away there. Rustenburg looking to progress the ball up.
Yeah, Rustenburg moving down the right hand side as a big ball goes diagonally. Fairmont picks it up, and still ball inside the circle, and two players going out at keepers now, trying to keep it under control, but beating the keeper on the one side, but the umpire says it hits the back of the stick, as Fairmont now breathe a little sigh of relief as they try and get this ball out. Still a high press from Rustenburg as they trying to win the ball quite high up the field.
Really in Rustenburg's press there, you can see they're very cutting very hard. They want the ball to go to the left half, and they're back in their right wing to make the turnover, just like we've seen there. Some really good defending there from Fairmont. They'd like to just make sure that they stay composed.
Tomahawk shot coming in, and now still another chance here from Rustenburg. They play it outside the circle, but fortunately she couldn't find another player. But Fairmont still with it deep in their own 25 as they try and clear the danger here. So it just goes as far as the sideline free hitters. A few more clear-cut chances here for Rustenburg, as Fairmont doing well to defend. They're going to want to try and get a bit of a comfortable way out the circle.
I think Rustenburg's coach Sasha Silverstone will be extremely pleased with the way her team has started here. I mean, from the beginning they've played all the hockey in Fairmont's half, and even now in the press they've managed to keep them there, and they're forcing turnovers high up the field. So they'll be looking to just take advantage and maybe step on, maybe create a good chance where they get a shot at goal, because we haven't actually seen a genuine shot at goal from either side yet.
Yeah, I mean, you want to test the keeper, and at the moment they haven't really tested the keeper. They've obviously put the defenders under pressure, but Lauren Whittaker with the ball now as Fairmont now got some space down the left hand side, but still put on pressure from Rustenburg, but some really good skills. Fairmont now win a free hit on the left hand side as
Daniel throw them. So Fairmont with an outlet opportunity. Rustenburg have got them pretty much where they want them. They can look to win the turnover here. You see they've got the extra play in midfield. And there they've managed to make the turnover. A bit more accuracy from Rustenburg will be the order of the day. I'm sure Sasha will be asking for that. As you see Anna with a great turnover. She's on her forehand with a great pass to the right wing. You see a circle entry here. Good defending from Rustenburg, and they've got a counter-attack opportunity. So like we mentioned before, it's in the middle of the field, this game, and will one of the teams be able to take it in the final third and actually take advantage and make something happen?
Yeah, lots of numbers up front there for Rustenburg that they could have used. Unfortunately, didn't execute the pass as well, but they're definitely making their intentions clear, and I think Fairmont need to be just very careful that if they do watch Rustenburg's counter-attack, they just need to be very smart as to how they're going to defend that. And in the same way at Rustenburg, Fairmont do have some pace up front, and Rustenburg's just got to be aware of where they want to force those forwards to run.
So in situations like this, I mean, if you look, we see almost all 20 outfield players are almost all in the 25 for one field. Would you, I mean, if you were Rustenburg, would you maybe leave one or two players out on the counter, but higher up the field in the chance of having a good counter? Is that something you might do, or would you also be happy getting all your players behind the ball?
Yeah, I would have one or two maybe behind the ball currently. I think the danger for Rustenburg currently is that they can be exploited on the counter attack. So I would maybe pull one or two more attackers back just to fill the hole in the middle, because at the moment that hole in the middle is a problem, because then if they then win the ball and counter those two players in the hole, they can then feed the ball to them and then create an overlap. So I think that's from their side, and I think Fairmont's doing pretty well by bringing their forwards back, so they're bringing majority of their players forward, but there is still a big gap between midfield and defence currently in Fairmont, so they've got to maybe pull another player back there as well. But yeah, I wouldn't just on my view, but I think Sasha's got something up her sleeve that she's trying to work on. It'll be interesting to see us. Rustenburg now.
Opportunity, yeah. They've got the 3v1. Let's see if we got the accuracy.
So their ball goes across, and that we were talking about those extra numbers in up front, and unfortunately she couldn't find a pass, but Rustenburg still with the ball running down the baseline. She's now inside the circle as ball comes across and well defended, but unfortunately she plays it onto another defender's foot, and Rustenburg will now have their first penalty corner with 8 minutes left to go in quarter number 2.
Yeah, so I think there we just saw it. It's pretty much something from nothing. It's how Sasha wants them to play. Good counter, just win your 1v1 in midfield, and then you should have a man up somewhere. So yeah, Rustenburg are good there with their counter, and they managed to convert it into a penalty corner chance. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare. Looks like they've set up 2 castles.
Yep, double castle at the top as Rustenburg now the chance.
It's pretty obvious. I don't know, I would make a call. It's going to go to the first castle, left castle.
Oh, unfortunately,
We're not going to know.
unfortunate little dry push-out spot there, and she just lifted her head a little bit before she took it. Unfortunately, chance goes a begging there for Rustenburg, but there's that danger we spoke about, that those extra numbers that they have up front. Fairmont's got to just be careful with their defense. They were 3v1 at that stage, and I mean, if we're going to be critical, Sasha's probably going to be very upset as a coach on the side that she didn't get something more out of that than they should have. But it's a positive sign, I think, from Rustenburg's side at least. It's a positive sign as Rustenburg now with a chance just outside the circle, but Fairmont seem to be closing the space down really, really well as they're driving inside in the baseline, and there's numbers there, but Rustenburg get the ball out, and the shot comes in and hits a Rustenburg stick and goes inside, beats the keeper, and a little bit of a scrap on the left hand side, but ball came out, shot came in, hit a Rustenburg player's stick on the base on near the post and beats the keeper, and first goal goes to Rustenburg after a sustained amount of pressure on the Fairmont defense.
I think Rustenburg fully deserved that goal. They've definitely been the dominant team in the first 6 minutes of the second chukka. But it'll be interesting. We spoke about the first goal maybe changing. We see Fairmont coming right back. I think it bodes well for the game. It looks really exciting. Fairmont seem to come right back at them and they'll look for a circle entry here.
Yeah, Fairmont, we know they've still got all the dangerous players up front, so once they start executing they can do well, but Rustenburg have done well to keep them at bay and to keep them quiet for the time being, but that, like you say, is going to make it very exciting because now they've got to go and chase the game just a little bit.
But it's crazy how it always happens, AJ. You'll have a game where it's 0-0, back and forth. One team scores, then all of a sudden everyone can just score.
Yeah.
and within a minute or two, you'll see another team scoring or having a short corner out of nowhere again. You know, it's strange how the game works. It just takes a goal, and all of a sudden it just opens a can of worms, as we see.
And there we have it. A minute later, Rustenburg has allowed Fairmont into that right-hand T point, and Fairmont now get there. Another chance from the penalty corner spot to try and equalize. Like you said, this could potentially open up the game quite a bit. As Rustenburg still hold a 1 minute lead with 5 minutes to go in quarter number 2.
Yes, I think this is Fairmont's third short corner. They'll be looking to be a little bit more accurate than the first two. So a good push, a stop, and it looks like Sienna Grazer is going to be maybe playing a slip. Yeah, a zigzag.
Push comes in and it hits a Rustenburg stick and then rebounds to a Fairmont player on far post and Wayne beat the keeper. A little bit of a scrap again inside the circle, but Fairmont equalize from their second or third penalty corner now, and game's definitely opening up quite a bit as both teams are looking to try and have the upper hand as we slowly tick away towards the end of the first half. As Fairmont have just equalized 1-1. Those of you that have joined us, thank you very much for joining us, as Fairmont have just equalized after a minute before that, Rustenburg taking the lead, as Fairmont hosting Rustenburg girls here for the last 2 games of the day, under 16 goals, and first team a little bit later on. And Fairmont straight away moving, and they've got some numbers forward, but well defended by Rustenburg, as they've also got numbers forward. As fortunately a double turnover, but Fairmont with the space down the left hand side now there. Rustenburg have their numbers in defenses. Fortunately a miss pass, and Rustenburg taking it quickly on the left hand side, but Fairmont winning it again as a chance now to counter attack and beating a Rustenburg play, but there's a real scrap on top D, but Fairmont still have the ball and she's driving inside the circle now as ball comes towards far side. She's got to take a shot, comes in, but she misses the ball and it's a Rustenburg stick, as Rustenburg now have a 16-yard free hit, and definitely things are starting to, energy levels have definitely shot up quite a bit after the first 2 goals.
It's just interesting. Rustenburg started this chucker so well. They took the lead and all of a sudden they've just said, okay, Fairmont, your turn, you come and play a bit. As we see Rustenburg with a bit of possession again. I think the game's poised really nicely. But again, I think Rustenburg will be so disappointed. They literally did so much good stuff for the good 7 minutes of this chucker, and then they just said Fairmont play, and then they allowed them to play. And I wouldn't be surprised if Fairmont get another opportunity just before the end of this chucker, maybe even go to the half-time break with the lead.
Yeah, it's great. It shows you it's all those games, those ebbs and flows of hockey matches. There's Rustenburg now driving down the right hand side towards T-point and under pressure from Fairmont, and unfortunately rolls onto a stick as Fairmont now have a free hit. We talk about those ebbs and flows and how the game changes. It's so important that once you've scored a goal, that your mentality of the game changes completely, and you need to be aware of that opportunity for your opponent coming back to try and score a goal. As Rustenburg win a free hit just inside this 25-yard area on the right hand side. As quick free hit's taken, but umpire's not happy with where the free hit is being taken. He asked for it to go back, as ball now towards the circle. It's a Fairmont stick, but Fairmont now defenders, so they now win the ball and hitting a Fairmont foot, unfortunately, but advantage played by the umpires. Ball goes towards the side of the circle, hits the back of Fairmont stick, as there's a free hit just outside the circles. Quickly taken to top D, and another one, basics, just ball rolling onto the back of the stick of Rustenburg, and just a little bit of frustration creeping in there, but Fairmont now with a 16-yard hit, ball out to the right hand side, and unfortunately coming off a Rustenburg stick, dangerously hitting Fairmont player above the shin guard.
Yeah, so that was a crazy phase of play. It was just like foot back stick. Okay, the other team you play, but foot back stick. Anyway, so we've got the last minute here. Fairmont will be looking to maybe get another opportunity just to cap off the half. As they want to free it, will their intent be to play, or will they just look to run down the clock? It's going to be interesting to see what they do over the next 40 seconds.
Yeah, a couple of seconds left. There's Fairmont now with a little bit of space down the right hand side, but Rustenburg have won it, and see if they can get something for the last couple of seconds of the game. Is now well tackled by Fairmont as they close it down on the side, and they win a free hit, and maybe just time to just slow it down and just tick off the clock till half time, as I guess both coaches are going to want to get their team talk towards their teams as quickly as possible. Clock ticks down to about 10 seconds left. As Fairmont now try and build it up through their two central defenders. Ball now to the left half, and mistrap, but Fairmont still has the ball under control as we arrive at half time and 1-1, and two very, very different quarters that we've just had. A very, very Rustenburg starting really well in quarter one. Fairmont, starting really well in quarter one. Rustenburg having a very good end and putting Fairmont under lots of pressure. They took that into quarter number two, putting more pressure and a lot of goal scoring opportunities, and then obviously getting that goal from quite a little bit of a scrap in the circle and scoring the equalizer, and then a minute later unfortunately having a bit of a lapse in concentration, and Fairmont getting a penalty corner and scoring from it. As now 1-1. It's been very a lot of turnovers in the last little bit, but players are fighting really hard and working hard to get the ball to their teammates. And we spoke about accuracy and execution. Those are the two critical things that I think the coaches will be focusing on a little bit.
Yeah, AJ, I think it's a fair reflection of maybe the situation. We haven't maybe had that much hockey. It's been a bit disconnected with practices and matches, and I think if this was pre-season, I think we would all be looking at it and definitely coin the phrase saying, it's just a typical pre-season fixture. It's a little bit clumsy here and there, and maybe the intensity is there, but just the accuracy, as we've mentioned, is maybe lacking. So I think the players can be forgiven for that. At least the pace of the game has been good, and the intent has been good for the most part. So I'm looking forward to the second.
And I think it's kudos to the players though, because if you think about, we don't like to constantly harp on it, but I think this is something that I think we must be very happy about, is that considering that they haven't played the matches that they should have had this year, considering they haven't had the constant week in, week out of matches, to put on the performances that they're putting and the energy levels that they're bringing in, I think it's really, really good to see. Knowing that you haven't had your typical really hard inter-schools matches, your consistent training. But you can see the energy levels of the players. They're really excited to be out there and really happy, and I'm very happy to be here because it's cool to watch some schoolgirl and schoolboy hockey again.
Yeah, no, for sure, AJ. It's going to be interesting to see the second half. You asked us at the end of the first chucker what the team talks would be. I think now once the teams both conceded and both scored each one, they might be looking at different areas where they'd want to improve. Coach Louise now just seems to be really precise in what she wants her players to be doing, and Sasha seems to be a little bit more wanting to focus on how we step, or maybe outlet there she'll be referring to. So I think you make a good point, because it's two slightly different ones. I think Louise will probably focus a little bit on her forwards being a little bit too far from each other. I think maybe just there's some points where they just stretched a little bit. I think Sasha's looking, if you just gauge some from the body language, she's probably looking a little bit at the way in which they are beating players and the way in which they are executing their passes. I think that's something that we can just pick up from there, but it really does make it exciting to see what is because I think the Fairmont forwards will probably be not frustrated, but I think they'll want more of the ball, considering that first couple of minutes that they had in quarter number one. And I think the Rustenburg girls, they'll probably be looking and saying to themselves, maybe they've got to tighten up a little bit on defense and a little bit in the midfield, and just to eliminate a little bit of those, because every now and then the ball's just going through the middle and they're not managing it that well. So yeah, again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It's quarter number 3 as Fairmont are hosting Rustenburg girls this weekend at the Fairmont Astro in Durbanville, and
don't be deceived by the weather. It is actually quite cold where we are sitting, but it is a lovely day to have hockey, and we're really, really excited to have some schoolgirl, Friday night schoolgirl hockey action again. And we have missed school sports for a while, and we're happy to bring you some coverage of it. My name is AJ Springzik. I'm joined by Chris Gibson, and we'll be bringing you the coverage for this game and for the first team game later today. And it's 1-1. Rustenburg scoring the equalizer after entry inside the circle and a real deflection on the left hand side, and FAIRMONT then a minute later winning a penalty corner and scoring on the side. 1-1. Very exciting game that we have in store. If you are watching us, please let us know where you're watching from, who you are supporting. Let us know on our YouTube channel, and we'll engage with you. No doubt the players will appreciate of your support. So thank you very much for joining us as FAIRMONT playing from left to right kick us off here in quarter 3. It's FAIRMONT with the ball starting now. FAIRMONT now with the ball left hand side as they play from left to right, and Rustenburg playing from right to left. Under pressure from the side and hitting a Rustenburg foot there as FAIRMONT now with another free hit, and everybody seems to be inside the half of the field here. Gibbo that's pushing hard to get numbers forward, and
so very Rustenburg with a great tackle. Does really well to win the ball back there. Now she just needs to find a pass. She's done so well. Fortunately, one step too far, she gets turned over.
And those are the accuracy and those small little things that they've just got to eliminate for them to just get start getting some of those outcomes. As FAIRMONT now win it again. They have it on that left hand side, and they got some it's got a few numbers forward, but it's well managed by Rustenburg. But as I say that, they lose the ball, and FAIRMONT now with the ball down the left hand side is.
It's a really good turnover there from FAIRMONT. Good step, but Rustenburg do well to nullify it and win the free hit on the sideline. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to see where this chucker goes. Hopefully we will see a few more goals and be entertained.
Yeah,
sure, the goalkeepers though, they will be thinking, oh, we're going to be here to make a few saves. So it's interesting to see Rustenburg, a great pass. Fortunately can't be trapped, managed just to keep it in the field of play. That's a prime example. It's a great chance. I mean, you just need a good trap there, and you've probably got an opportunity of a 2v1 with the keeper. So
yeah, and I mean there was 3 strikers up front, and she fed it to the right hand side strikers. Ball now comes in again. FAIRMONT picks it up, and it's a good example. I agree with you. I mean, you know, the pass had beaten the defender, so all you had to beat after that was the goalkeeper. And sometimes we don't realize that, and it's something that I think both coaches will go back to their video sessions, which they most likely will do, and just have a look, and it will make players more aware of those sort of errors, you know. And we talk about those errors, that it's okay to make errors as long as you're just learning from it all the time from there. No doubt that Rustenburg will look at this as well and look at the chances that they've had and learn from it and do a little bit better from that. It's FAIRMONT now with a chance. They've also got some numbers for. They've played a very patient game throughout the game so far, but you can see they're just starting to be a little bit more direct on their passes. As another good tackle, as you can see some of those players who've been playing indoor, have been some indoor league matches. You can see how nice they're getting, nice and lower. They're getting up with their challenges. And
it's a really good tackle there from the Rustenburg goal.
Very, very good challenge.
Done so well to open the field up and make the pass. So you see again the left back from FAIRMONT. She's just not sure. Must she track her play, or must she step on the link that's beaten her link? You know, and every time. That's the question that Rustenburg are posing to FAIRMONT is at left back. Are you going to be stepping on the free player, or are you going to be tracking your man? And it's such a difficult question to answer, because you can say on one hand that you need to track your player, but on the other hand you've got to say, well, geez, the ball's going to get into the D then eventually.
So here's a question as a coach, Chris, for that situation. Obviously that's a very situational situation, if I can put it. But when do you, as a coach, how do you balance it between training defending in a normal situation and training in a defensive situation when you're man down? Do you because I see obviously a lot of times coaches go by training a man down in defense so you can practice those type of things. How do you balance that? Because I mean, sometimes the players might think, well, if I'm playing 4v4, how do I defend in that situation? So how do you balance that as a coach?
So 4v4 is obviously very simple. Everyone just marks their man. But the question always is when you are man down, you've just got to identify, is the ball carrier the biggest threat at that stage, or is your player going to be the biggest threat? So in that situation where there's a turnover on the halfway, you're probably thinking the ball carrier is not a threat. She probably has to run 40 meters before she can take a shot at goal. So you're pretty happy just dropping, and then waiting for the intercept. So as you see Fairmont here with a short corner, they've done really well to progress the ball up the field there. But AJ, I think just to get back to your question, I think the reality is in how you handle that situation is rather just try and delay, track your player, and trust your link maybe to get back, or your forward to get back, and put some reverse pressure on. But if it does come to a training session where you've got 4v3, then it's you just got to try and make the ball carrier do something. And if they do get into the space where you need to step, then your goalkeeper will obviously step on the next highest player.
And that's quite important, because as we see the push out coming out from Fairmont, they've got a chance now. Another little zigzag looking at it, and it's hit by a stick tackle from Rustenburg, and Fairmont now have another chance, and maybe just going to have to look at a different variation, because it seems like Rustenburg are running into those spaces that they want Fairmont to play the ball into.
AJ, it sounds funny, but I'd love to just see a straight shot at goal. It would be interesting to see where the keepers are, where the defense is.
And we still haven't had that straight shot that we've been waiting for the whole game.
You know, it would be, I mean, we see Lauren on the thing, it might be a slip left. Maybe a Lauren, it's either going to be a flick or it's going to be under a shoulder to the left. But I'd love to see something go straight.
There's that straight hit, but unfortunately, those of you might are wondering why the umpire's blown it. It's been lifted above the height of the backboard. Umpire blowing that, but yeah, you know that back in when we played hockey, that good old just straight hit from the top, because we didn't have many variations back then. We didn't have the opportunity to.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, even to this day, I just coaches always ask me, well, what do you do first? And I just say, well, go straight, because number one, it's a shot on target, and number two, you do get an opportunity to see how the defense is running out. So your next short corner, then it gives you a bit of insight as to which variation would be best. As you see Rustenburg with the opportunity, their right wing in the D open wide again. It's a really nice intercept there from Fairmont, but Rustenburg definitely causing problems up top and overloading the circle with an extra player. So
yeah, some big numbers up front there for Rustenburg, but it's similarly now, so Fairmont's got some numbers forward, unfortunately not getting the ball through, but they still have the free chance here. And Fairmont with a chance as ball goes inside, and they've got a 3v2 situation. Still inside the circle as the ball moves in, and she's got some space. Reverse shot comes in, but unfortunately goes over the baseline as Rustenburg breathe a sigh of relief. And you know, you say about the straight shot, sometimes we forget that the keeper's also pretty nervous at that stage. You know, sometimes at a penalty corner they want to get that first save out the way. So if you get a first shot in and you make it really difficult, you start putting doubt in the goalkeeper's minds there. So good point there. And I mean, it's something very important as Fairmont now win the turnovers. The game's starting to stretch a little bit as teams are starting to run hard to try and get those extra goals. There's lots of space in midfield currently. It's still Fairmont now with the free hit on the left hand side as they're going to try and build their way in towards the circle. Some nice interpassing as ball goes in and lifted up. And keepers, umpire is given advantage, but he's given advantage for the shot. Fairmont still have the ball inside the circle. Reverse stick shot comes in, and he's not happy. Has hit the back of the stick. As Rustenburg now with the chances, they're under a little bit of pressure at the back that they've got to try and get the ball out. As they found the ball towards the left hand side, as the floodlights now start coming on, as the sun starts setting here in Cape Town, has come towards another end of a week of hockey as bringing the under-16 game between Rustenburg and Fairmont.
And you see Rustenburg, the right wing is pretty much just camping in the D. She's open, left back needs to get on her. Oh, it's a great touch from Fairmont there. Unfortunately can't do anything to stop the goal. And the player there, the right wing from Rustenburg, she takes advantage of being unmarked and actually finishes off really neatly there. It's a difficult chance that she had, and it's a good finish. So Rustenburg 2-1 up.
Yeah, that's a good example of a team that's been on the attack for quite a bit. Changes and did not change their mindset into a defensive mode, and straight away Fairmont now on the attack, and it's a good reverse stick challenge. The second one was not, and it's a quick free taken. Fairmont got numbers forward as they try and get one back, and good challenge. Get the ball, and then unfortunately I think it rolled onto a foot there as Fairmont now have a free just outside the circle with a chance now to try and get the second goal. And a shot comes in and just goes over, and did so well up till that point to get that shot away, as straight away Fairmont try and get the equalizer back.
Now Rustenburg, we were disappointed there from scoring. They've allowed the same goal, 3 opportunities from 3 different hits to progress the ball at least 5 meters, and then eventually Siena there with a shot. So you'd like to think the spine of the team would be a lot more secure, and it will be a lot harder for Fairmont just to penetrate like that. You know, they had 3 different free hit opportunities there, and Fairmont has still managed to get into the circle. So yeah, Rustenburg will need to tighten up, as you see them with a good counter opportunity here again. Great work there from Kellen Bastard. She makes a great turnover, or forces a breakdown.
Yeah, on our YouTube channel, Lynn Hadley saying go Monties. Thank you very much, Lynn. And Cream Crispy, I think I'm saying that right, says go Lauren. So thank you very much for your comments. As Fairmont now full speed on the counter attack currently, as Fairmont now with the ball on the right hand side as the ball goes inside the circle, as they look at a little bit of a goal line scrap, as Fairmont now moving inside and stick challenge, and Fairmont winning a penalty corner. 2 minutes left in quarter 3.
Yeah, that Fairmont putting a bit of pressure, and maybe one challenge too many there, and umpire not happy with that challenge and winning a short corner.
Yeah, Fairmont now with a chance with 2 minutes on the clock, as a chance now to try and get an equalizer. They've had a few chances, and you can say about that what they did before, that straight hit. They haven't had one. They haven't really, to be honest, even though they've got a goal, they haven't really tested the goalkeeper from those opportunities from the top. As Fairmont pushes it out, goes short, and a little mistrap on the top, but looks like another zigzag, and unfortunately mistrap, but the ball still stays in. As Fairmont still has the ball under control just outside the 5-yard area, as they look to take the ball back inside, but Rustenburg some really good pressure, and Fairmont with a quick free hit, and she goes straight inside the circle, but well defended. As
fantastic tackle,
really good tackle, very brave. So Rustenburg now, Fairmont with the ball on the right hand side, as they continue to mount the pressure with 1 minute to go in quarter 3. It's definitely going to be a fascinating quarter 4 if it continues like this. There's some space that Fairmont finds, is really good hands, as driving towards T-point, it's just inside the circle, finds another player, and Rustenburg picked the ball up, but Fairmont picks it up and unfortunately rolls onto a foot, as a chance now for Rustenburg at the 16-yard free to try and clear the danger. Anna Tro saying go Monties, you can do this. Yeah, no doubt the Fairmont will be appreciating your comments here on our YouTube live channel. Thank you very much all for that. It's Rustenburg with the ball on the left hand side. They played it in towards middle, but Fairmont now have the ball in midfield. Unfortunately, a missed challenge as Rustenburg with a chance. He's still got numbers forward. Right forward is open. She's got the ball. She's deflected it. Unfortunately, didn't get a big enough touch on it. Didn't get a big enough touch on it, as we come to the end of quarter 3, as Fairmont 2-1 down currently with Rustenburg, and it's been a fascinating quarter. I've got Olu with me, and Olu's coaching the first side. Olu, we've chatted a lot about the coaching and how it's been, how tough it's been. It's pretty exciting to be back playing hockey again.
Geez, unbelievable. We wouldn't think this day would happen at some point. We've been holding thumbs throughout the week to make sure that we can actually get it over the line. And massive privilege, and I think the girls have been super excited to get this going today.
Any other matches you got planned out for the next couple of weeks? Obviously technically the season's coming towards an end. You've got girls that's going to have exams soon, but any other matches that you obviously we don't know if it's going to happen or not, but any matches that you're hoping to have soon?
Yeah, we do have quite a couple that we had scheduled. Unfortunately, we had a team withdraw last week for our fixture this coming weekend, but we play Polchum on next week Friday, which is really exciting. And then the week after we are hosting Bloemhof on the Friday with St. Sips coming on the Saturday. So we've still got a couple of fixtures here.
And lastly, I think I know you got to get back to your goals probably. You've seen the under 14, your Rustenburg under 14 and under 16 team. You happy with what you've seen? I mean, any things that as a first team coach, you must be pretty proud of what you've seen coming through?
Yeah, we've got some good talent coming through, and I think phenomenally proud of what our girls have managed to do considering the circumstances, and a lot of them actually haven't played full field hockey or serious hockey since primary school. So considering that those under 14s haven't played a real hockey match since grade 6, that's really happy with where we're at the moment.
Do you as a coach, just quickly on that, I mean, it's pretty scary to know that some of them haven't played matches like that for 2 years. Does that worry you at all? Do you play catch up? What's your approach when you're heading up a program like a school program? What's your approach then to try and make up, or do you just let it be and just carry on?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment we're doing we try to stay as busy as we can with doing a lot of technical stuff. I'm quite involved with all the teams at the school, just sort of trying to help coaches upskill the players. And also just I think the biggest thing is trying to get involved at junior school levels to make sure that, because that's where it starts really, is at junior school level. So just to make sure that the basics are developed there and nurtured, so that by the time they come here, they can focus on the finer details, so to speak.
Olu, thank you very much. Get all the best for your game, and we'll chat to you soon. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's quarter 4 that has just started as Fairmont chasing that equaliser, and Rustenburg obviously working for the next couple of minutes to try and keep it at 2-1 or extend it to 3-1. As Chris has just left us briefly, so you'll have to hear my voice for the next couple of minutes. As now Fairmont with the ball inside the circle, but Rustenburg clearing the danger. Has a chance now with Fairmont with the ball down the left hand side. And we had just an interesting quick chat there with Olu, the first team head coach at Rustenburg Girls, just to get his insight of what he's up to for the next couple of years, and what they've been doing, and a couple of matches that they've got planned as Rustenburg. Now with chance, they've still got numbers forward again. Big ball goes inside, and we've got attack on the right hand side, ball control. We've got 3-2 keepers coming out. Shot comes in, and ball goes across, and it hits a Rustenburg girl's foot on the sideline. She just had to hit it with a stick and put it into the box, and unfortunately she mistrapped it, as Fairmont now breathe another sigh of relief as they still 2-1, still chasing that equalizer and the potential winning goal. Is, I think it's too sketchy. I think it is on YouTube saying let's go Monty's easy game. It's not been the most easy game, I will say, but it's been a very, very exciting game to watch, and both teams can be very proud of the performances they've put out on this Friday evening here at Fairmont High School, taking on Rustenburg Girls. Fairmont with a chance down the left hand side as they've got a little bit of scrap, but they're still, Rustenburg have defended really, really well, and they've leaked a few opportunities. As Fairmont now with a chance, they've got lots of space down that left hand side and got numbers inside the circle. Ball goes in and still there, but goes over the sideline, as it will be a long corner to Fairmont, as Fairmont mount more pressure out on Rustenburg now. Rustenburg 10 minutes and 45 seconds to go on the clock, so lots of time to get more goals, as Fairmont trying to drive inside the circle, well tackled just outside the circle. The recovery challenge there from Fairmont, the umpire not happy with, as ball goes deep inside the halfway line. As it's a 3v2 situation inside the circle. Rustenburg driving, and she's going to look for a pass inside the circle. Keeper making a comfortable clearance. Another chance there for Rustenburg with massive overlap down that right hand side of the field. Rustenburg now with a ball on the left hand side, ball on the right hand side, apologies. Is big ball inside the circle, and well defended as Fairmont find a pass towards the left hand side, and there's numbers there as they can try and pick up the ball, and she's kept it in field, and there's lots of space and lots of speed as well. Pass comes in, but it's hit a foot. It's well broken down there by Rustenburg as they just try and stop that counter attack from Fairmont, as they've been really good at that, as both teams have been running really hard. You can start seeing players are starting to breathe a little bit deeper and driving inside the circle, and Fairmont still with the ball, as well defended there from Rustenburg. Fairmont still have the ball outside the circle. Rustenburg cleared, and over the sideline is the players are, you can see they're walking just a little bit slow on the field. You can see they've put their hearts and souls into this game. And Gibbo, welcome back. We've had an exciting little start here, end-to-end stuff. We're saying how the players have breathing a little deeper because the girls are working hard, and it's good to see. And
it's obviously getting down to the business end of the game now, so we'd expect both teams to be giving their all on defense and attack. So we see Rustenburg with an opportunity to move the ball up the field, and they really are enjoying looking for their right wing. I think they've identified that maybe that's where they've got a bit of an advantage, skill and pace wise, so they'll be looking to, or they have been looking to exploit that. Just over 8 minutes to go here. Rustenburg looking maybe just to score another goal just to give them a bit more cushion. Fairmont will obviously be looking just to nullify this attack and then maybe progress the ball up the field and get an equaliser.
yeah, we have Fairmont still chasing that second goal, that equaliser, and Rustenburg, like we say, gonna try and hold out here. And as Rustenburg win the ball just over the 25, as they feed it again to that right hand side, and again another pass inside that final third. That I would love to see the stat of the passes, the completed passes that were made in the final third of the game, especially for Rustenburg. It's something that the coaching staff will have to look at.
See Fairmont with an outlet. Nice lead there from the outside link. But Rustenburg again with a good turnover high up the field.
Oh, unfortunate slip as she was about to hit there, and Fairmont now have that free hit and they can clear the danger now. It's just
A bit of
time.
an injury. It happened off the ball, and those are always often the worst ones. You know, sometimes it sounds funny to say, or it sounds weird to say, but you actually it's better when you've got an injury because of an impact. You know, but when you're just running on the side of the field and no one near you, and you end up going down, they often end up being worse injuries. So let's hope it's not too bad, and it's maybe just a little bit of a rolled ankle as opposed to anything more serious.
Yeah, we hope she's okay, but I think it could have, potentially been a rolled ankle, or looks like a knee, so maybe just slipped over her feet, and we hope she's okay. We don't like seeing any injuries on the side, and she's walking a little bit. I know she's probably feeling a little bit of pain, but no doubt she's looking like she's walking comfortably there, so we're glad she's okay, as we still 7 minutes 20 here in quarter 4, as we fascinated still to see how this game's going to end, because anything could still happen in the last 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's always positive to see the player able to walk off the field unassisted. So yeah, hopefully it was just a slight sprain. It's always good now. As we see Fairmont resuming the game deep in their half, and Rustenburg with a good turnover from their right wing. We'll be looking to take advantage. It's a fantastic turnover there from Lauren Whittaker. Unfortunately, she just can't execute the outlet. Rustenburg have another free hit in the 25. Fantastic turnover there from Fairmont. They got a counter-attack opportunity, and Rustenburg were wise to it, and they set up a counter of their own. As we see the question there, the Fairmont goal, the right back, she decided to rather mark her forward, and now the left link has got an opportunity to enter, and now she steps and plays when the ball's actually played to her. So that's an example, AJ, what we spoke about earlier, where what do you do with you mark your player, or do you step? And she decided to rather mark her player and wait for the ball to be played towards her player, and it worked out well for her there.
Yeah, and I think in this game it's evident that most likely in that case the 4 defenders need to be, or the 3 defenders need to be marking their man with a 4th person open, taking the extra ball, at least man to man as close as possible, given what the counter attack that Rustenburg has. But also something impressive, Rustenburg's been very good on their 1v1 defense. Something that they've been very good at is Rustenburg try and play the ball down the edge of the T-point, as Fairmont now have a 16-yard hit out.
So Rustenburg's press again very aggressive. Anything pretty much into the centering channel will be turned over, as we see there even now with the lifted ball. But Rustenburg not able to secure possession there, and Fairmont have another chance to move the ball up. Play just over 5 minutes left for them to get an equaliser. bodes well for a lot of exciting hockey to come up in these last 5 minutes. And I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll see a goal either way here. I'm sure
Yeah.
something will happen.
Yeah, something's going to happen soon. 5 minutes 20. Rustenburg still with the ball, but Fairmont putting them under pressure. As Fairmont now win the ball inside the circle. Inside the halfway line as they try and play the ball down the right hand side. They've got some numbers forward as they drive down. Again, very good 1v1 defense there from Rustenburg as try and play the ball out, but still the ball deep in that space as Rustenburg now the chance to clear out. Seems like she's holding the calf a little bit there.
AJ, it's weird. It's almost in exactly the same spot where the other girl went down. And
It's a little bit of cramp maybe?
yeah, well, let's hope. I mean, cramp is always the thing we go to when you see a player down. She is holding a calf, as you've alluded to there, but it's just strange. Almost in exactly the same spot in the field. As we see the player that you won't see on screen, you might see her in the next shot. But the player that did go off injured is actually coming back onto the field. So that's
a very good sign, yeah. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We're about 4 minutes away, 4.5 minutes away from the end of the game, as it's been a fascinating encounter here between Fairmont, the hosts, and Rustenburg girls travelling from the southern suburbs to come and play on a Friday. It always used to excite me when I was a school kid to travel to a match on a Friday afternoon. You never did any schoolwork at all throughout the day because you were so excited about your match under lights or whoever you were going to travel to go and see. So really, really cool to have some matches, and we hope the Fairmont player is not too badly injured and that she can recover well from it. We're a couple of minutes left from the end of the game. We've still got a first team game happening. It would have started at 6, but we are running a little bit over time, but we will bring you a match directly after this, bring you the first team game. We've got 4.5 minutes of exciting hockey as Fairmont chasing for those equalizer and potential winner, and Rustenburg looking to solidify their lead in this game. Rustenburg with the ball big inside the circle, but well stepped as Fairmont got some numbers forward as 3-1 there, but another good challenge from Rustenburg, but Fairmont win it back again. Rustenburg's won it back now as try and see. It's been a very up and down game in the second half.
you mentioned it earlier, just Rustenburg's one-on-one defense has been insanely good. It's another example there where they've just made, on their weak side, she's made a one-handed turnover, and now Rustenburg have managed to play the ball up into Fairmont's half again. As we see their right wing once again
with the ball, yeah.
Fairmont will definitely look back at the tape in the week and say, geez, we need to make sure that our left side is a bit tighter than what they are. These Rustenburg girls are being allowed way too much space up in the final third.
Overhead comes across and finds a Fairmont players though. Need to try and build up, but they've got some numbers forward and they've got a little bit of space here. So try and chase for that equalizer inside the 25, and Rustenburg player comes in, umpire not happy with the challenge, and penalty corner. This is a little bit of a clumsy challenge on that side as Fairmont win a penalty corner with just inside 3 minutes as they take a chance now to try and equalize. Umpire explaining there what he wasn't happy with.
I think it's a fair call. I think the situation, most of us will know, we're just looking for a breakdown outside the 25, outside the circle. Don't let her get into the circle, and the umpire has quite rightly punished the Rustenburg goal and saying that no, that's not acceptable, and it's going to be a penalty corner. Even though the infringement happened out of the circle, the umpire deemed that it was a serious offence and therefore upgraded the decision to be a short corner. You see Fairmont with a reverse short corner here, taking it for what we call the wrong side. Could it work for them?
Yeah, unfortunately Fairmont probably would have liked again maybe a straight shot from that angle, not keeping it as simple as they could have. It's Rustenburg now with a chance with 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes away from a win here as they trying to look to secure the lead, as Fairmont putting them under pressure, but they've got the ball through as ball beaten everyone, and it's going to go over the sideline, but Fairmont with a chance here, chasing that win, as umpire asking the players to be 5. Big ball across, and it was lifted, but there was no danger whatsoever, as Fairmont with a chance now. It's a bit of a scrap down on the side, hitting the Rustenburg foot, and Fairmont with a chance. They can look for a big ball inside the circle, but she continues her run as ball comes across, and it beats everyone past the right-hand post, as Fairmont or Rustenburg now with another opportunity with a minute to go. It's Fairmont pushing lots of numbers forward to put them under pressure. Try and win the ball and see they can get that goal, as Rustenburg put it out on the sideline, but Fairmont with another chance now with 50 seconds left on the clock. Numbers are going forward as we'll try and get numbers forward, as finding a pass, and Fairmont still the little scrap on the side, finding another players driving inside the circle, but a good challenge, and Fairmont still with the ball on top D, as 2 players going squaring it out on top of the circle, but Fairmont with the big ball inside and then hitting a Rustenburg foot, and umpire plays advantage, and 23 seconds on the clock with Fairmont with another opportunity to try and equalize. And no doubt this will be the final move of the game as they try and secure a draw here. Coach shouting last chance on the side, and the clock is rolling down. And a trial say, come on girls, let's do this, go Monties. And as the final whistle goes, Fairmont now have a chance now to take the equalizer. The ball comes out inside the circle, looking for a little zigzag, and flick comes in and it hits the side post, and Fairmont have equalized on the stroke of full time. And what a finish!
What a goal from the captain, Lauren Whittaker. We spoke about it earlier. She'll be making her first team debut tonight, but she's got some business to sort out first with under 16, and what a way to do it. It might not have been a win, but the draw at that stage would have been just as good. And
fantastic finish there by Fairmont as they equalised 2-2. Chris, final thoughts on the game?
Yeah, very good game. I think both teams will walk away and say, geez, we could have been better, could have been better there. But yeah, good, nice under 16 game, and looking forward to the first team game now. Yeah,
pretty cracking finish there. Well done to Fairmont for getting that equaliser. But both teams, massive performance by both teams. Great effort from either side. But from myself, AJ Spearingzik and Chris Gibson, bye for now and see you later for the first team game.